It passes. By tonight, you'll barely remember the last 7 years.
He shrugged. Not fucking likely, but said nothing. Zoe dangled the tea bag above her cup, letting the last few droplets fall.
I'm glad you decided to come.
Your note said there'd be money involved.
An opportunity for it, yes. Let's order first.
She flagged down a waiter and ordered 1 poached egg, dry toast, a fruit cup. Cam ordered his steak and eggs. The waiter set an ashtray full of plastic cream thimbles between them.
Your breakfast is on me,
Zoe said, once they were alone again, their voices safely beneath the general murmur of the restaurant.
I also have a check for you for $1,000, plus a lead on some legitimate work.
Legitimate? Cam repeated. Meaning the rest of your proposition isn't? The bottom of her mouth tightened.
It's not illegal, I can tell you that. You'll want to hear it.
You say so.
Now, the check and the job lead are yours regardless. We want you to have those as a gesture of good faith. The proposition is both of ours to take or leave, meaning you have to agree, and I have to think you're up to it. Disclosure in this case is a one-way street. I'll ask you some questions and I expect answers. Full, frank, and candid. You can ask me what you want, and I may or may not respond. That's how this will work.
Cam drank some coffee. Hotter than what was served in Kent. It scalded his throat.
Are you a guilty man, Mr. Shaw?
The question startled him. And for a moment, he couldn't think of how to reply.
I'm not speaking philosophically, Zoe said. We're all sinners, if you believe certain sects. What we're interested in is, did you commit the crime you were in prison for?
I served time, didn't I? Zoe scowled.
Those are the kinds of answers you and I need to avoid if we want to develop a working relationship. No equivocations. No leaving things out. You committed the crime you were in prison for, yes or no?
Yeah, Cam said.
Good,
Zoe said, looking pleased.
Now, tell me about it.
He'd been what, 22? A few months shy. A different person entirely. Cam had abandoned community college to work full-time with his uncle. Minor renovations and electrical, a lot of drywall. Mostly hauling the stuff Uncle Pete couldn't, on account of his back. In White Rock, there were dozens of rich clients that relied on Pete to build their decks and garden sheds, restore the teak on their yachts, turn their basements into trophy rooms and man caves. Soundproofing, flooring, clearing out gutters. Peter Shaw handled it all, and did so under the table, making him a popular man in the beachfront border town. At 22, Cam had wanted nothing more than the back room of his uncle's place, enough money for booze and pot and cigarettes, and a beater to drive around on the weekends. College? Sell it to someone else. The Garricks had been Pete's best customers. Roger and Elizabeth. A castle of a home near the White Rock Promenade, a cottage in Point Roberts, nearly the same size, and a new yacht in the marina, seemingly every year. Cam had been working at the Garricks' home that night, alone. He'd been drinking a little, had smoked a joint earlier that day. A freak storm had pierced the roof, soaked the kitchen wall, and burnt out the circuitry. Pete had entrusted the job to Cam, thinking he was ready to work on his own. The Garricks had come home later that night. Both had been drinking. Roger more so, crushing his wife's azaleas under the wheel of his Lexus. They'd argued, he and Roger Garrick. Cam couldn't remember the words, but Roger had accused him of something, and the drunk man had picked up the stainless steel trim guard for painting. Cam's first legal aid lawyer told him it was only provocation that saved him from a murder charge. If the defense could prove that Roger Garrick provoked him by word or deed, to the point where a normal person would lose control, then the jury must opt for manslaughter. Thankfully, Roger Garrick's skin cells had been on the handle of the tool, Cam's blood on the blade. Cam, 5'11" and 170, felt the edge cut into the muscle of his shoulder. He'd swatted the tool out of Roger Garrick's hand, taken up what was closest to him.